Okay, so you know how sometimes you just look around and you're just like, oh my gosh, the clutter is just too much.
Right, I know that feeling.
Yeah, like my brain just wants to hit the snooze button when I see a huge mess. But what if I told you that there's this system, this like way of thinking that can not only like tame that chaos, but can actually make your whole business better?
Totally.
That's what we're diving into today. We're
Uh,
talking 5S.
yeah, 5S is super interesting because people think it's only for factories. But actually, you can use these principles anywhere, like even at home.
Yeah, like in my office, which definitely needs it.
We're going even further today, though. We're going beyond the usual 5S and into a new framework with 4 phases.
Okay, so like a new and improved 5S.
Exactly. It's standardized, spotless sort set in order and self-discipline.
Hmm. So we're changing things up.
Yeah.
The old way was sort, set in order, shine, standardize, sustain. Why the change?
Well, think about it like building a house. You don't start with the roof, right?
Yeah.
You need that solid foundation.
Makes sense.
And that's exactly what standardize is. It's setting those clear expectations right from the start. It's like the blueprint.
So before we even start doing anything, we need to set the ground rules. I get it. Is
Mm.
this like that bakery example from what we read?
Yes, exactly. Imagine a bakery where every baker does things their own way.
Oh man, that would be chaos.
Right. The cookies would all be different sizes and stuff. You'd have no consistency. But when you standardize the processes, everything from how you store ingredients to how long things bake to even how those pastries look in the display case, well, you create a system that is predictable.
And then you know those chocolate chip cookies are going to be perfect every time.
Exactly. And that's not just about efficiency. It's about keeping that quality top notch so customers come back for more.
Okay, I'm on board with standardize. So what's next?
Spotless.
Right, I do like a clean workspace. Helps me think better. But is it really that important for a business?
It makes a bigger difference than you might think. Think about how you feel when you walk into a spotless space like a hotel room or something.
It is a good feeling.
Right. It's calming and you feel good being there. That's spotless. It's not just about being clean, it's about creating an environment that people feel good in.
So employees are happier and customers trust you more.
Yeah, because people judge a business by how it looks. A clean workspace shows you care.
I can definitely think of places I've walked into and been like, nope, I'm out of here,
Yeah.
just based on how messy and dirty it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got standardized and spotless. What's next?
Well, we can't forget about that story about the retail stockroom. You know, the one where it was so messy that finding anything was like impossible?
Oh, yeah, that's a perfect example of why sort and set in order are so important. And they really go together. Can't have one without the other.
So first you get rid of all the junk, the stuff you don't need, right?
Yep, that's sort. Get rid of the clutter.
And then,
Then you make sure everything that's left has its place. A logical spot that's set in order.
so like using those shadow boards where you can see exactly where each tool goes.
Yeah. Visuals are key for this. It's not enough to just tidy up. You got to make it easy for everyone to see where things go and how to keep it organized. Think color coding labels, designated zones. It's all about making the workspace almost run itself.
I like that. So we've got our standards, we're spotless, and everything is organized.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good, but what about the people? Even with the best systems, if people don't follow them, it won't work.
You're right. That's the human element of 5S. We can have the best plan, but if we don't think about the people involved, it won't work.
So what do we do?
Think about it this way. Imagine you're trying to change the channel on the TV, but someone else is super into the show they're watching.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're not going to be happy.
Right. You can't just force change. You have to understand where people are coming from.
I see your point.
Mhm.
So instead of just telling our team to do 5S, we need to talk to them about it. Ask
Mhm.
them about what's frustrating them now and how we can make things easier.
Yes, asking questions is a great way to get people involved, and it might even give you ideas you hadn't thought of before.
And it shows them that you respect them and their opinions instead of just telling them what to do.
Exactly. It's all about communication. And speaking of communication, we need to make sure everyone understands why we're doing 5S in the first place.
Yeah, what's in it for them? How will it make their lives better?
Exactly. Help them see that a clean and organized workspace means less time wasted looking for stuff, fewer mistakes, and even less stress.
And maybe even fewer accidents if everything is put away properly.
Exactly. Show them that 5S is about making everyone's work life better, not just checking a box for the boss.
And a little fun never hurts, right?
Good.
Like that
Oh.
sorting relay race idea.
Absolutely. Make it fun. If people enjoy the training, they're more likely to remember it. And it can even help build teamwork.
So instead of seeing 5S as a chore, everyone can work together to make it happen.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to talk about next. We've got these first three phases down, standardize spot lists and sort set in order. But how do we make sure these new habits stick around?
Right. How do we keep things from going back to the way they were before? That brings us to self-discipline.
And that's where things get really interesting.
I can't wait to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back to dive into the final phase of the new 5S framework, self-discipline.
All right, so we're back and ready to tackle that last phase of our new 5S framework, self-discipline.
Yes, bring on the discipline.
It's so easy to just get caught up in the day-to-day, putting out fires and all that. We forget to look at the big picture.
Yeah, when you're in the thick of it, it's hard to see what's really going on. So how does that relate to 5S?
Well, we've been talking about the practical stuff, right? Like actually creating that clean, organized workspace. But 5S is more than just like a to-do list.
It's like a way of life, a philosophy.
Exactly. And that can impact your whole company culture. It's powerful.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Hmm.
But how do we get there? How do we shift from just doing 5S to it becoming like who we are as a company?
It starts at the top. Leaders need to really believe in 5S, not just talk about it, but actually live it.
Walk the walk, right?
Exactly. If you're telling your team to be organized, but your own desk is a mess, well, people aren't going to take you seriously.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
And it's more than just your own desk. It's about making 5S part of your company's values, like really integrating it into how you do business.
So if a company says they're all about customer service, then 5S should be part of how they achieve that,
Right.
because it streamlines things and reduces errors, which makes customers happy.
Exactly. You're connecting 5S to things your company already cares about. It shows that it matters.
It makes it more meaningful than just a rule to follow.
Right. Okay. But what about everyone else? How do we get the whole team on board with 5S and keep them excited about it?
Yeah, because let's be real. Cleaning and organizing isn't always the most fun thing.
True, but that's where communication comes in. We got to make sure everyone understands what 5S is and why it's good for them personally.
So, don't just tell them to do it. Explain how it will make their lives better.
Right. Show them that a more organized workspace means they'll waste less time looking for things, make fewer mistakes, maybe even feel less stressed.
And don't forget about safety. A well-organized workspace is a safer workspace.
Absolutely. It's all about making work life better for everyone. And here's another important thing. Give people a voice.
What do you mean?
Involve them in the process. Ask for their ideas, their feedback. What's working, what's not.
Yeah, that makes sense. People are more likely to support something if they had a say in how it works.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate successes. Recognize the people who are rocking 5S.
Ooh, I like that. A little positive reinforcement can go a long way. So
Yeah.
what kind of things are we talking about?
It could be as simple as a shout out in a meeting, or a company newsletter, maybe a small gift card, or even just a sincere thank you.
It shows people that you appreciate their effort.
Exactly. So we've talked about leadership communication involving the team celebrating successes. But how do we make sure 5S sticks around for the long haul?
Yeah, we don't want this to be a one-time thing. We want it to become part of the company culture.
Yeah. You got it. And that's where continuous improvement comes in.
So 5S is a journey, not a destination.
Love that. It's not about reaching a certain level of organization and then stopping. It's about always getting better.
So how do we make sure that happens?
Regular checkups. Think of them like 5S audits.
Okay, so we're checking in on how things are going. Not to blame anyone, but to see what's working and what's not.
Exactly. Are we still following the standards? Are there any roadblocks? What can we do better? You can even have an outside expert come in and give you a fresh perspective.
That makes a lot of sense. And we've got to use technology to our advantage. There's so many tools that can help us stay organized.
Absolutely. Project management, software, inventory systems, even just a shared online calendar can make a huge difference.
Yeah, if everyone knows when things need to be clean or checked or whatever, then nothing falls through the cracks.
And don't underestimate the power of data. We can track our progress, see what's working and what's not, and use that information to get even better.
It's like having a 5S dashboard that shows you how things are going in real time.
Exactly. We can combine that data with feedback from our team and create a 5S system that is truly effective and constantly evolving.
This is so cool. I never thought I'd be so excited about organization.
I know, right? But here's the thing. 5S isn't just about being tidy. It's about creating a work environment where people can thrive.
So it's about more than just the physical space. It's about the culture, the mindset. It's about empowering people to do their best work.
Exactly. And that's what makes 5S so powerful.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into 5S, it's amazing to think about how much we've learned.
It's been quite a journey, right? We started with that feeling of being overwhelmed by clutter, and now we're talking about how 5S can change not just our workspaces, but how we think about business as a whole.
Yeah, we busted that myth that 5S is just for factories.
Yeah.
We've seen how it works in any business, any industry.
We talked about leadership communication, using technology, all those pieces that make 5S work.
And we had some fun, too. Remember those sorting relay races?
Yeah.
What about those AI organizers? Crazy.
The biggest takeaway, though, is that 5S isn't just a set of rules or a quick cleanup.
It's like a whole philosophy, right?
Exactly. It's a way of thinking that can really change your business from the inside out.
So as we wrap up this episode, what's that one big idea we should all remember?
It's this 5S isn't just about having a clean and organized workspace.
Okay, there's got to be more to it. Tell me.
It's about building a culture where everyone is always looking for ways to improve things.
I like that. It's about moving away from, we've always done it this way, and asking, how can we make this better?
Exactly. That's the kind of thinking that makes a business really stand out.
So it's not just about our physical workspace looking good. It's about changing how we think and how we work together.
Absolutely. It's about making work a place where people feel good and where they're excited to contribute.
This has been awesome.
Yeah.
We've covered so much about 5S, from its history to how to make it work to the future of 5S. We've seen how these simple ideas can make a big difference.
So as we finish up, I have one last question for you and for everyone listening out there. What's one small change you can make today to bring some 5S into your own workspace?
It could be something super simple,
Yeah.
like cleaning off your desk, organizing your emails, tackling that pile of files.
Or maybe take a look at a process that's bugging you. How could you make it better, more efficient?
The important thing is to start somewhere. Keep the momentum going.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into 5S. We hope you're leaving feeling inspired to embrace organization efficiency and that idea of always improving.
Until next time, everyone, keep your workspaces tidy and your minds sharp.
And remember, even a little bit of 5S can make a big difference.